In this video, we are going to talk about search engine optimization, or SEO. Now, what is this? It's basically how you can optimize your website, or you can do some of the adjustments that will help your website to grow and to get higher in the Google rankings, so that when someone search, for example, your e-commerce site or your activity or whatever on the web, that's gonna appear higher in the results here that we find. Now, for example, I search for SEO and I have a lot of results here. Sometimes you will also find advertisement. Now, don't confuse advertisement with search results. Now, you can get higher position if you pay more, but that's gonna be like really expensive. You need to pay every time, and well, that's a way that can be called also SEM, or search engine marketing. So you're gonna create like a strategy, like advertisement strategy, and then you can get higher results. But for this guide here, we're gonna see how we can make the website work for us. So if we create a really nice and appropriate content in our website, that's gonna work for us. That's gonna be our advertisement. The quality of our content is the most important thing that will work for us. So I'm gonna give you some really quick tips. This is gonna be a really beginner guide, fast, easy, and quick, and I will show you where to get all the information and resources. It's really simple. So let's get started. And let's get started here in Google. So you can see here, the first result is the best one. This is the best resource you want to get in talking about search engine optimization. Now, this is for Google, but can be applied in any other search engine. So let's open up this guide here in a new tab and let's see what it's about. So I'm gonna slide this over. Okay, now this is a guide. You have two guides here, beginner, SEO, and advanced. Now, if you are a beginner, of course, you are watching this video. I think if you are an expert, you already skipped, or you already saw that you already know these things. All right, so this is the beginner SEO guide, and let's scroll down here, and well, you can of course read this by yourself. You can take your time. I'm just gonna point out the most important pages and the most important topics here that you may want to explore more. If you support us in our channel, we can produce more guides about these topics. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is to have your website inside the Google index. Otherwise, if you don't communicate that you have created a website to Google, that's not gonna appear at all. So this is the most important thing. And then you need to make Google scan your website with a crawler, and that's gonna give all the information about the pages of your website, what's inside your website, and so on. And this is done with the sitemap, and then you can apply also SEO practice, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Okay, so just all these are kind of technical aspects, because the indexing and the crawling, this is something about, well, there is like some CMS like WordPress that does this automatically. You don't need to do anything, just make it run and it's gonna go smooth. But if you are creating another type of website, for example, we are using HTML, then you have to consider then to be to give these files and create sitemap and do all this stuff. And I will show you also where to get more information about this. Now, do you need the SEO expert? This is a nice question. Well, not always. You can do the SEO by yourself, no SEO, sorry, SEO, and it's not so hard. You can do it by yourself, but if you don't have time, it's always important to understand what SEO it's about, so that you can also, check if everything is going good and if your SEO expert is working okay. Okay, let's go down again here. Let's scroll, and you should find about all the technical information here. Yeah, the first thing that you need to understand is that you need to communicate what your content is. Now, again, it's all about the content. So the first thing is to create a nice title that has to be synthetic, but also it has to be really descriptive. So it needs to focus and get to the target of what you are basically doing in this page. Now you will work page by page. Each page constitutes the website, so each page has to be accurate. So you need to work on the title. If you are working in HTML, again, if you work with WordPress, all this stuff is done by WordPress automatically, or you can go there and fix it if you want, but you need to check the title. It has to be something like this. And then another important thing is the description. These are the two most important meta tags at the moment. So they need to contain a lot of keywords about what you're selling or what you're doing in order to the Google search engine to find your website when some user is looking for those words or those topics. Okay, let's scroll down more. So create unique titles for each page, describe accurately, use brief but descriptive titles, and so on. Let's move on. And again, the description, it's really important. Now the description, it's a little bit longer, but not so long. Just look all the instructions here. Let's move on real quick. I just want to point out the most important things. Now another important thing is to create a Google Map page. So you have to use business places to, especially if you are working like in a shop or something like that, this is really important. Now another important tip is to get people to your website. You need to use also other strategies. So for example, you can use social network, or you can use maps, or you can use images or videos like this video here. Now you're watching this video. If I place a link on this video or in the description, then you will be interested maybe to go and see my website. Now this is how everything works. So if you play on different levels, if you work on different platforms, then you can reach more people, more users. Okay, let's scroll down. And also, the more websites are connected to yours, the more links. For example, if you have an article on the New York Times talking about your website, that's gonna be a lot for the rankings. So if let's say big website gonna point to your website, that's gonna elevate you in the rankings a lot. There is no magical wand for this. You just need to wait. And another important thing to know is that if you just begin to create your website, if your website was created this year, you need to wait at least 1 or 2 years before it's gonna acquire, it's gonna get a little bit more recognized, and Google can trust your website. Now, most of the website, they die after 1 year. So Google, if you don't stay at least 1 year, it's not gonna give you any credit at all. Okay, or maybe a little. Let's move on here, and I'm gonna tell you things that can come in my mind as we go. Again, navigation. Now this is another important topic for websites. Let's see here, understand. Okay, now be careful not to create labyrinths when you create websites. Don't create labyrinthic navigation. Don't confuse your user, and create a nice hierarchy of pages and sub pages and sub pages. You need to create like a pyramid, or like, let's say, a tree structure. Your website is not appropriate when it's horizontal. So let's say that all the pages are in the same level, you have like 100 pages, or vertical, where you have only one pages at the top and then you go down, 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 and that's gonna be vertical structure, and it's not good as well. It needs to be, well, it's better if it is like a pyramid or like a tree. So you start with a main branch, and then you divide into, let's say, 2 categories, and then into 4, and then into 10 pages, and then into 100 pages. That's gonna be more appropriate. Okay, use breadcrumbs again. Make your user comfortable. This is really important for Google, and that's gonna get you high in the rankings. If you do a strange website where people cannot find the way, or it's full of advertisements and things like that, that's not gonna be good for Google and for any search engine. Okay, let's see other important things here. Text is pretty important always. Now, even if you create a website with only images or only videos, that's not gonna work. You need to get textual content. You need to get a lot of words in there, and you need to use them for navigation, for description, for alternate description in images, to explain your videos. Just remember that not there are people out there who cannot see, so you need to explain them with words, with HTML, plain text, what's happening in your video, or what's in your image, or what is going on, basically. So you need to give all the indication to your users to make them feel comfortable, and that's about user experience, that's about user interface, navigation. It's about all this stuff here. Okay, and you can then see this by yourself. Let's see. Well, optimize, of course. You need to have fast websites. This is another important thing. Slow web pages, slow websites, they tend to lose public because they take too much to load, and people get tired and they move on. So be careful about optimizing also about the speed of your website. Okay, and you can check this. Okay, optimize your content for users, not for search engine. Now you don't need, it's impossible to crack the code here. You cannot like create something that's gonna get you higher in the rankings with, I don't know, like placing a lot of meaningless words and things like that, or if you insert topics and words that are not about your website. Now all this stuff is gonna confuse your users, and it's gonna be bad for the rankings. You need to create nice content, appropriate content, quality content. That's all Google cares about. Okay, let's move on here. Again, texts, descriptive text, concise text, and so on. Be careful who you link to. Another topic there. Well, again, this is about images. It's important to have the alternative description, attribute, nice and good to explain the image. Again, it's all about text. Once again, we already talked about that. And again, it's giving you some suggestions. Well, this is another important topic. Now, smartphones are a lot of the devices out there that's gonna display your website, so you need to consider your website to be responsive. So it has to look good not only on PC but always, so also on smartphone and tablet and so on. So be careful about that. And there you go. So this is responsive web design, and you can find tutorials. WordPress, for example, it's automatically responsive. You don't need to do anything. You use a template, and the templates are all responsive for this reason. Okay, promote your website. You can decide if you want to use advertisement, and that's it. And this is, well, these are the main topics here, but there are also other really nice documents here that you can explore yourself, are pretty easy, and you have also videos that will explain you things. And again, you have this get started for beginners, so you have to do here, and we just read the starter guide here, but you have also other things. You also have advanced SEO here, and also a guide that can help you here in the beginner SEO is decide whether you want to hire a SEO expert or not. If you click here, you have these tips for hiring. So this is where you can just sit back and relax, watch the video, and call someone to help you with this SEO and just do other things. But again, these are all helpful tips by Google. So thanks for this documentation, Google, and thanks for you guys for watching this video. Now, if you go in our YouTube channel, you will find also other videos in the video page about a lot of topics like management, marketing, 3D design, 3D modeling, rendering, graphic design, and so on. Also in the playlist, you will find full video courses, here English video courses at the top. And you can support us by joining the channel or with the store or in the about page using these links, so you can support us and also get rewarded as well. And this is gonna be all for this video. Write your comments, your questions, your suggestions, anything that can be useful, and you know that it's good and nice content that other user can see. And again, participate. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.